Hi friends, and welcome back to Beloved Reviews. If you're new here on this channel, I share with you delightful, family friendly, and faith-based movies and television shows. Happy Thursday, y'all. Wow, we are already at the end of the week. It's almost unbelievable to me. Like, seriously, y'all, I really feel like this week has flown by. Anyways, y'all get somewhere, get cozy, get comfortable in your favorite spot, your secret place, and let's talk. Let's hang out for a minute, all right? Anyways, yes, I am doing amazing today. Excited to be spending this time with y'all. We have a lot to discuss with this film today. Oh, y'all, I had so much fun. A total blast with this film. Anyways, y'all let me know in the comments how y'all doing, how you're feeling, what are you up to today? What are some wonderful movies, inspirational, heartwarming films, or television shows that you got a chance to check out, or anything that we talked about that you got a chance to look into while we were away from one another? Please let me know all of that in the comment section below. But we're going to go ahead and get started with our special feature today, which is titled The Sweeter Side of Life. You can actually find this film streaming right now for, I was about to say for free. Forgive me, Hallmark Plus. But first, let me tell y'all what this film is about. When her husband dumps her for another woman, pampered housewife Desiree discovers there's more to life than money. Now, friends, as you can tell by that synopsis, this is dealing with a little bit of real life for a lot of people. Maybe some of you have been there or heard of friends, family, loved ones who've been in a situation like this. I don't know, it's nothing new, but at the same time, it's kind of cool to get a little bit of an inside take into a situation like this. And you may be thinking, looking in from the outside, I don't know if I would have made this move over here, or I'd have been more prepared this way or that way. Or, I mean, we can all say different things, but it's a whole nother thing when you're actually in the situation. But here we do meet housewife Desiree, and I didn't even know that that's what they call a woman who's like stay at home but no kids. I never really thought about what you call a woman who's like a stay at home but don't have kids there. So that was kind of cool. Okay, so you're a housewife, so that's pretty, I don't know, and that was something, I don't know, enlightening to me. Y'all gotta forgive me. I don't know everything. But anyways, here we do meet Desiree. Desiree comes from a very small town, a very small, intimate, quaint town. A town that I would personally love to have grown up where everybody knows each other. Her family has this really sweet, lovable bakery where they bake all these fresh breads every day. And it's to me it seems like the life. But hey, I don't know, if maybe I would feel different had I been born into something like this, because clearly here Desiree wanted the first ticket out of this place. She had bigger hopes, bigger dreams in her mind. She wanted to live like this big city life. She wanted to have it all, everything at her fingertips, and she actually gained that. She accomplished that. She married this doctor, not just any doctor, but a doctor who ended up having made a huge name for himself in his field. So she spent her days, y'all, forgive me. She spent her days like shopping at the most high-end places, eating at the 5 high-end places. That's what she does every day with her friends. Like at the end of her day, she's coming home with like both hands filled with a bunch of bags. Like, how much more do you need? A house full of expensive clothing, shoes, purses, bags, whatever you can think of. Desiree has it. So at the beginning of this film, I was particularly turned off by this character. Didn't necessarily really care for her. I felt like she was a lot like her friends who seemed like spoiled, bratty, like they don't see anyone. Even when they are walking about in the streets and going about their business, they don't see anyone. And it's like they have no compassion, no concern for what the real world is going through, what's going on around them. And that's what kind of turned me off from her character. And I just didn't think that it was no way that I would actually really care for this particular character throughout this entire film. But by the time we get to like the middle of the second act, I saw Desiree differently. Like, I really saw her as someone sweet, a human being that truly does have a heart. And it's amazing when God humbles us, y'all, because I do know there are some people who cannot be humble. Like, seriously, we see that in the Bible. Pharaoh was never truly humbled. He never really submitted himself and truly did what was right according to the word of God. So you do have people in real life who, it doesn't matter what happens, they would never truly humble themselves. It just won't happen for them. And to me, I feel like a person like that just always kind of been evil. And when you are, and I feel like a person who is able to be humble, come to their senses and choose a different path, I feel like it was always a bit of good there. It just took something to bring it forth, to bring it out of them. And that's what we see here in this film with Desiree. She is, in her character, even throughout the film, from the beginning all the way to the end, she is a character. And when I say a character, I mean she's funny. She has a lot of humor. Her comedic timing is so on point. And she's almost like, you would think, I was gonna say like dense, but it's not necessarily dense. I just feel like she is an innocence about her. All of her life, especially the way that she grew up and her parents raised her right. They raised her to be a caring individual who cared about other people, to do the right things and all, because you can see when we meet her father, when she's kind of forced to come back home. And I know that's a big thing, especially when you're an adult. The last thing you want to do is to humble yourself and have to go back home to your parents and live with them for whatever amount of time and kind of have to admit that you were wrong. And that is like the toughest thing to do. Many of us have been in a situation like that. You were so quick to get out there. You felt like you had all the answers. You know what you're doing, and life kind of hit you in the face. And you have to come to that point. Are you going to tough it out where you are? Even though it seems like there's no way that you can actually get through this. I felt like Desiree, that was her first response when things kind of started to go downhill for her, and her husband told her that he wants a divorce. He's basically out of here, and he's not leaving her with anything, any bit of life that she had obtained throughout this marriage. He is taking it with him. He's not leaving her a dime, which I thought was very, very harsh. I mean, you're telling a woman that you created this lifestyle for her for 15 years, and you expect her to be able to jump back out into a world that has changed since 15 years ago and be able to take care of herself and create some kind of life for her, especially in New York. Like, come on now. I mean, the least you can do is give her a little something. But I mean, that's how he wanted to play the game. And technically, according to the law, he had every right to, because of the whole thing, the agreement, what they came into the marriage with. It's kind of what they're leaving with. And Desiree came in there with absolutely nothing. And she never thought that life would be any different than what it was, that this was going to be her life forever. And to see her kind of get this huge wake-up call here, she had basically two choices. You can kind of tough it out here in this big city with absolutely nothing and start from scratch. I don't see how you're going to do that. I don't see how McDonald's or Burger King or any kind of fast food joint is going to help you get to that place where you were. Or go back home. And she was kind of forced to go back home and go back to where life seemed like it almost literally never changed. Even though it had been 15 years, it seemed like even her room, her clothing, that everything that her parents kept exactly the same, like almost like she was just stuck in the 80s. And it was hilarious that she had to go back to literally nothing and to wear these clothes that were so dated to kind of get herself on her feet, because at this point she had literally nothing, like absolutely nothing. She didn't take out of the house for herself, so she had to wear what she had to wear, which was like 80s style clothing. And it left you laughing to see her her go through the motions and have to humble herself, and everybody in town knew the kind of life that she was living, and they were kind of like surprised, like, what? Desiree is back here and she's back at her father's bakery. He gave her a job even though he couldn't technically afford to hire her because the bakery is kind of on its last leg, but he put her right there. And I love her dad for this, that he wasn't like, I told you so, and all these, like, give her this whole long lecture that many adult kids we do not want to hear at a time like this. When we already see, okay, you were right, but do we have to actually say that you are right? So her dad was very, very gracious and so sweet about this whole thing. And it took a minute for Desiree to kind of accept that the life that she lived with her ex-husband was totally over. That is now reality is settling in, and you're gonna have to make this happen for yourself. Otherwise, no one's gonna do it for you. And so Desiree, over time, it took a little minute, like I said, but with God's help and the help of her dad and her co-workers who worked at the bakery alongside of her, in the town, the community kind of rallying around her and helping her as well. Because of the reputation that her father had in the community, she was able to accept life as is and to use the degree that she had, use the gift that God placed inside of her, which she was a baker, and use that to bring joy and love and peace and all these types of things to her family, which consists of the entire community. Once at this point of the film, I was like, I'm here for her. I'm loving this, because truly, even when we feel like we have nothing, where it's like everything is like over, is done and over with, like, I'm never gonna see my dreams happen for me. This film shows us, like God shows us all the time, that there is something. You always have something. You're never without something. It's just a matter of you digging deep within and seeing, okay, what can you do? What do you have? What can you use to make it work for yourself and for the people you truly love and care about? And to see her tap into that gift of being a baker and how creative she became with the Lord's help was such a beautiful thing, that it not only changed her life, but it changed the life of those around her. It changed her family business. Like I said, her dad's bakery was literally on its last leg, and to see it like prosper, it flourished, not only within the town, like they had lines around the building, but also like it got the news, it got the attention of big city life, and big city executives were like paying attention to this bakery and wanted to offer them deals and all kind of brand deals and different things. And it just shows like truly when we get to that point when we just humble ourselves and stop chasing money, stop chasing things that really don't profit us anything, that truly vanish. We can't take these things with us. And then on top of that, such things don't last. Nothing lasts forever. We know, according to the word of God, the things that are seen are temporal. The things that are unseen are eternal. It's those things that we can't see that are truly valuable and important and carry the most weight during our time here, which is a short time when we compare it to eternity, right? And one of the things that we can't see is truly a person's spirit. We see each other's vessels, what we look like on the outside, but we can't see the real us without all of this. And one day we're going to be without all of this. One day we're going to be able to see ourselves for truly who we are, that spirit within us, which always lives no matter what. It just lives forever. And that is truly what is eternal. That spirit that true us that God created with love and fearfully and wonderfully, right? So I had an amazing time, and it was such like a realization here watching this film, a true reminder that these things does not matter, and the things that the world highlights and try to encourage us to run after with all of our hearts. This is where your identity lies. This is what it's truly about, and the world is constantly telling us that all the day. It is about money. It is about followers, subscribers, like clout, and all these different things that God does not care about. All of these things that can truly be wiped away with a blink of an eye. And we seen people go through that in reality, and we saw it here in this film. But at the same time, along this journey, going through this type of this deal with Desiree, like I said, I truly did love and adore her spirit. And she could have been very jaded. She could have had malice in her heart to see a person that she kind of promised forever to dog her out in the worst way. And she could have been all of these types of things, but she chose the higher road. She chose to love, to respect, to honor regardless, and to know that at the end of the day, okay, you may have done me that way, but we reap what we sow. And there's no getting out of that. For people who are not of God, they may call this karma. But for those of us who know the word and we live by this word, we know that you cannot sow one thing and reap another. You're going to reap what you sow. Forgive me, y'all. You're gonna pay for what you have done in this world. Nobody gets away with anything, even when we don't see it, even when it looks like, wow, this person got it all together. But we saw even in this film, we actually got to see her ex-husband go through it. And Desiree could have been one way in his face and like, see, that's what you did. You shouldn't have left me. You see what you did. You should have did right. She could have been all of that, but she was not. She truly stayed humble all the way to the end. And I love that. So you're going to get that satisfying happily ever after here in this film. You are going to become like Desiree's best friend and rooting for her, like cheering her on and learning, taking away from her mistakes, taking away those life lessons that could truly help us in our real life, our reality. That's one of the things that I truly love about film. But once again, this film is titled The Sweeter Side of Life. You can actually find it streaming right now that's why I keep saying for free, y'all, because I believe it is playing right now on YouTube for free. Not sure how long it's going to be there, but definitely you can find it on Hallmark Plus. But before I leave y'all for today, let's go ahead and get into the scripture. And we're coming out of, this was perfect for Desiree here, girl. I got you back, right? Matthew 6, verse 25, and it reads, "Therefore I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you would eat or what you would drink, nor about your body, what you would put on. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothing?" So that's all I have for y'all for this video. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I truly appreciate you spending this time, your valuable time where you can be somewhere else, but you chose to be here with me and Jesus, and I want to say thank you so much. So until next time, may the Lord bless and keep you both now and forevermore.